People on the internet hate us at Sat Chats. They hate us. Either that or they just have a lot of fun taking out all their pent-up aggression on us.
They're demons.
In the comments.
They're demons.
What the heck, man?
They're bots.
We are out here doing the Lord's work. Ask anybody at the Bitcoin conference.
Yes,
They're
they
like,
love us.
You guys are doing the Lord's work.
Yeah.
Trudging through orange pilling pre-coiners one at a time.
That's the hardest work.
And publishing it for the world to see.
That is the hardest work to do in Bitcoin, and we're doing it, dude.
But even for disciples, good little disciples of Michael Saylor and Satoshi Nakamoto like us.
And Saifedean.
It's not, hey, it's rough out there.
Ah,
it's rough out there.
But you know what? I have a death wish, man. I can't wait to get flayed alive by these comments, dude.
All right.
I hope I'm wrecked.
Well, today we're going to be taking you through some of the worst comments that we've ever seen here on the show. And they just cut deep. They're just trying to cut at us.
Woo.
It's bad.
But it's good.
It's good, though. I think we're all going to have some laughs. I hope so, because I'm either going to laugh or I'm going to cry.
No, number 28 mom's like, I'm going to find these people.
I'm going to hurt them
because they're talking about my baby.
Welcome to another episode of Sat Chats Short Stacks. I'm your host, Chris, founder and CEO of Ithaca Hummus, resident Smash buyer. Smash the subscribe button on our YouTube channel. You'll be entered to win 10 million sats if you're one of our first 100,000 subs.
You could be a hater crushing us in the comments, but if you're subscribed, you have your share of the shot at 10 million sats. So I'll be your co-host for today's thrashing, Stewart, Bitcoin Maxi.
All right, we're going to jump right in here because I think there's a lot of hate. We got a lot of haters to get through today. So I'll kick us off with the first comment. And all we can see is the comment. We don't know what content it's associated with.
Okay.
This first one is for Koopakern.
Okay.
Koopakern says, you guys should probably whip out Google like at least once before you sit down to film. Now, Koopakern, that got 0 likes, your comment. So I'll point that out as a little jab back at you.
Oh.
But just so you know, we do make it a point to go back through all of our content and clean up our side of the street. Those episodes are called rehashes. We've got a playlist on our channel. You can check those out and maybe spend a little time, getting the facts straight. Because
yeah. Do you whip out our rehashes like at least once before you comment?
Oh, that's gonna your commentary back is gonna be just as spicy. All right, this one's for you.
And by the way, quick disclaimer: no one is an expert in Bitcoin because I don't think anybody actually knows just how powerful this thing is. So we're all learning.
Yeah.
Okay. And we're not pretending to be experts. And my wife hates that I sound like an expert. We're okay to learn as we go. All right.
Yes.
All right. So next one is for me. It looks like the fellow's name is X.
Unique. That's classy, creative.
If you thought this was worthy of clipping, your podcast is in trouble.
Oh man, you're hired. We ought to keep you around. Just tell me every time I'm headed for danger.
So
I need more of that.
X must have hated the short form content that we put out there.
Yes, this definitely is a social media. One of the billion clips that our guy Reg just churns out day after day after day. Out on Instagram, TikTok, X, we're everywhere.
And let's never forget the producer Jeremy era as well, dude. Homie put us on his back.
He did.
He got us through.
You know what else? On our last episode, he had to hot swap the hummus and crackers in here, and I was like, I got to remember to thank Jeremy for that at the end of the episode. I didn't. Okay. But take this as my in arrears. My thank you in arrears.
He cracked open the door real quiet, trying not to make a sound, and it went, JB Love. We're like, hey, turn down your theme music.
All right, you got anything else to say to Mr. X here?
We're good.
All right, see ya. All right, next we got Darkish Toast. Darkish Toast. That's what I try to convince my son. It's like, that's not burnt. It's just darkish. It's just darkish toast. Okay. Just because you can start a podcast doesn't mean you should.
Oh. Ooh.
Yeah,
Ooh. Well, guess what, darkish? Just because you can leave a comment doesn't mean you should either.
You just spewing hate out there in the world? What's that like?
That's a lot to type out.
Yeah.
Sheesh. These are Russian bots.
100%. Darkish toast. All right.
All right.
Here's Dr. Class for you.
Okay.
Let's see how
Dr. Class, man. And by the way, I can see that his profile picture is the Dungeons and Dragons symbol.
This is
right?
This is 100% one of your friends.
Okay. So
this is a sock puppet.
Just before I read Dr. Class's comment, I want you to know, Dr. Class, that I am a player. Okay. I'm in a campaign right now. Like every correct player of D&D, I am a barbarian. So we could be friends, but let's see how you're treating me real quick. Cryptocurrency is a scam. Okay, correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bitcoin is Bitcoin. Crypto is kryptonite. So far, so good. It is bad for the environment. Bitcoin isn't. Too volatile to ever be a default currency. Wrong. And only has value if you can trick the next person into a bad investment. You're not a forward-thinking genius. You're a scammer, no better than Bernie Madoff. Bro, real quick, crit fail on the comment, guys. My guy, Dr. Class, he rolled a 1 on the D20. All right? And you actually got knocked unconscious on the battlefield, and you got to start rolling them death saves, my boy. Because you're right about crypto, but you're wrong to think that Bitcoin is part of that. All right? So as your Bitcoin dungeon master, I would tell you to put more points into your whiz score. Kaboosh! Y'all don't even know how bad I just ripped this guy because you don't know what I'm talking about. But all my D&Ders, let me hear in the comments just how bad I dropped the elbow on my boy, Dr. Class.
Yeah, see ya, Doc. All right, Red Wolf 1992, a youngin'. 92.
Or that could be his favorite year that he was alive for.
Could be.
Yeah.
One person can crash Bitcoin, though, THO. People never talk about this.
Huh?
What? Please continue.
Okay. Which one person?
Yeah. Who is it?
Who exactly are you saying? Because the only person who has a significant amount of Bitcoin is Satoshi.
No, he's not the only person, but he's
the only one individual.
What about Michael Saylor?
He's getting close to like 500 or 600,000, right?
Yeah.
But it's all part of a corporation and its custody. Okay. Satoshi could take his wallet and just douche.
Yeah.
Right? But that wouldn't crash Bitcoin. No. That might make the exchange rate dip.
Temporarily.
But crashing Bitcoin would mean like it doesn't work anymore.
How quickly do you think the 1 million Bitcoin in Satoshi's wallet would be absorbed into the world of 8.5 billion people that we live in?
Boom. If it dipped Bitcoin from 105 down to 80 or 75 or even 50, if you sold off 1 million coins at once, you and me would be like, Michael Saylor would be like this. Yeah, we'd be like,
I'm eating.
Yeah. Oh, we love Bitcoin. Jeez. So go ahead and crash it, please, so I can buy more.
Yeah, 100%. All right.
So this one's for me, huh?
Oh, yeah. You're gonna like it. Yeah, I caught a glimpse.
Okay, I got at Javier Osete. Let me just go ahead and get in here. Nice looking dude. Nice little bit of stubble on the chin. Here we go. Scam channel, ... avoid. Next line, poop emoji only.
Picture says 1,000 words.
Next line, do yourself a favor and research BTC ... learn ... Next line, stop watching useless tubers getting paid to shill other S coins ... Okay. So number one, Javier, an ellipsis, that's going to be 3 dots. Okay. All right. The ... that's not working for me.
Yeah.
All right. If you want to kind of have that trailing off vibe, let me go ahead and see 3 dots, not 2 dots and not 3 dots followed by 3 even smaller dots. Okay. Get your ellipses game correct if you're going to come talk to me about being a useless tuber. Now we're not getting paid in terms of like an influencer who's saying go buy a crypto.
Yeah.
We do have a beautiful, wonderful sponsor here in the form of Ithaca Hummus and the Pearl Collective. We are searching for more sponsors, but we're not getting paid to talk about Bitcoin in that way.
No.
And if you buy Bitcoin, it doesn't help us in terms of like direct compensation.
No.
It just helps more people buy Bitcoin. Now, we're not shilling any S coins on this show. We're only talking about Bitcoin. So I do agree with Javier that you should do yourself a favor and research BTC.
Of course.
Because the more you learn about BTC, the better. And guess what? If you go to where this comment is, because I know this comment, I replied to this comment.
Ooh,
I said, Javier, what do you mean? You know, I asked him for more clarification. Why do you feel like we are useless tubers? Why do you feel like we're scamming and shilling? Let me hear it. You know how many comments I got back from Javier?
How many?
None.
He's.
You know what I think about him not responding to my response? Poop emoji.
Ooh, 2 dots. ...
All right.
See ya, Javier. All right, we got walking with principle.
Okay.
Okay.
Principal of a school or principal like a principled person? PLE or PAL?
PAL, like school.
Wow. Okay.
Walking with principle.
All right.
Close with his principle, I guess. Okay. This is why not everyone should have a mic.
Oh.
This is wrong.
This is wrong?
Wrong.
It's wrong to talk about Bitcoin? Dude, let me see this. This is why not everyone should have a mic. This is wrong. Oh, but also cry laugh face
Cry
emoji.
laughter. Yeah.
Cry laugh. He's dying laughing at how wrong our podcast is.
What do you think that cry laugh emoji sounds like?
Well, I don't know what it sounds like, but I think he's trying to convey that we are laughably silly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know what it sounds like. Probably for this guy, it's like, hee-haw.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So this is why not everyone should have a keyboard on their smartphone.
Yeah.
Right? Because then they go leaving comments like this.
But then you do, and we get out our cameras and microphones, and we, have something to say about it.
Yeah, bro. This is wrong. LOL. All right. We've got, it looks like Malne 888. Malne, Malne. It looked like Maine 888 for a second. Looks like an L. Please don't look behind the curtain is great advice to blindly follow from strangers on the internet. So,
did we say that?
I think what Malne feels when he or she consumes our content, looks like on the short form platforms here, is that we are strangers on the internet. We are advising Bitcoin, and maybe he feels like we're not inviting people to inspect us closely enough to realize that Bitcoin is a scam or something.
Okay.
Like, hey, Bitcoin is great, but please don't look any further than just take our word for it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's being sarcastic. He's saying this bad advice is great advice to blindly follow from strangers on the internet. So, number one, let's get a little bit clearer when we are crapping on when you're trying to be nasty to strangers on the internet. Go ahead and think about how to make your sentence structure easier to follow. Okay. Number two, Sat Chats is built like Bitcoin. Every episode we've ever produced is available for you to inspect. We are producing a documentary, right, that is going to show you exactly what we're doing, how we're building.
Yep.
We did a million sats giveaway and are giving away the million sats, and we're going to film that as proof. So everything we do is actually available for you to inspect. There are no curtains with Bitcoin, no curtains with Sat Chats.
Yeah. It's not like we made one video and said, hey, trust us, Bitcoin's great, you should go buy it. Now we're going to go back behind the curtain and you should just do what we say because we said. We make 9 of these a week.
Yeah.
We couldn't be more transparent.
He's not letting us look behind the curtain into his thought process for leaving this comment.
Yeah, it's vague. All right, next we got Calvin.
Okay. Calvin's probably a great guy.
Calvin.
Nice and easy, okay?
All right, this one's not horrible. Okay, he said the money being protected and the value being protected are not the same thing.
The money being protected and the value being protected are not the same thing. Okay. Now, this one's hard because maybe he watched a short on one of our social media platforms and was referring to the US dollar.
I mean, technically, I could have a big old treasure chest here in this room full of dollars, and I could sit on top of it with a shotgun.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd be protecting that money.
Yeah.
But the value of that money would not be protected.
Yeah.
Is that what he means?
I don't think this is a negative. I think Calvin's our boy.
Yeah.
Yo, shout out Calvin.
Yeah.
Right? Because
I knew it from his name.
Yeah, dude, anybody's right. His name's not Dr. Class or X. It's just Calvin.
Calvin got a job.
So I think Calvin is our boy. Yeah. Right? Yeah. To your point, like maybe saving money and having it store value are not the same thing. Like he might be on our side, dude.
Yeah.
Shout out Calvin. Unless somehow you're devastating us and we just don't have enough IQ to pick up on it. I don't know.
Dunking on us. Low key.
All right. Let's zoom in on this one here. This one's from Michael Wittig, 8984. This is about my EMP episode. The sun's solar flares can 100% take out the world's electric grid. You guys sound like a couple college kids that smoke bongs and don't go to class. Yo, here I am. I'm like, dude, you would need you would need 4 figures worth of nuclear bombs to be detonated in an equal grid around the world to drop the whole situation. He's like, the sun could take us out, you idiot.
Yeah.
And you know what? There was a rash of solar flare comments after that EMP.
Yeah.
And what did I do?
Did you ask for more?
I responded to the comments.
Elaborate. Yeah.
I said, you know what? I didn't even say elaborate. I said, that's a good point. I will go teach myself more about what the sun could do to knock out the electronic grid. So my boy's helping me. Right? Like we might sound like a couple of kids that are ripping bongs and he doesn't know how close he is with that either.
Yeah. I think he does.
But we are willing to learn and improve. Now, my question is whether the solar flare would permanently destroy all electronics, or like what we covered in the short stack, many of them would just require a reboot, etc. So we're going to look into that.
Well, I have that same question, but I'm not going to ask Michael Wittig 8984 about it because he's kind of like, dude, what's the deal?
I got love.
Why do you have to?
I got love for my guy. He's helping us out.
I can get that information from someone who's not as offensive. Okay.
If you're coming correct, I don't care how nasty it is. I appreciate that. I will look into solar flares.
All right. Maladapted hominin. Father is a little too big of a word for these geniuses.
What?
Okay, this is in that short on TikTok, has to be, where you said dad-in-law instead of father-in-law.
What was the video?
You were referring to someone's father-in-law, but instead of father-in-law, you said dad-in-law.
Okay.
And so
he has a problem with that?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. So real quick.
Look at this gentleman right here.
Yeah.
Oh.
He looks like an ape coming out of the mountainside here. So maladapted hominem clearly likes $10 words that come to us from Latin and Greek roots, right? Instead of saying uncomfortable monkey, right? He's going to say maladapted hominin, right? He's gonna, maladapted, meaning, I'm not well suited for this, etc. Right? So my guy over here, and by the way, my guy is also ending his online comment with a period at the end of his sentence. Yo, this guy's stiff, and he probably needs another hominin to show up and help him get the mal off of his ad. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like, so my dude needs to relax.
Yeah.
Now, let me tell you something about words. Number one, I know a lot of them.
Okay.
In more than one language.
Okay.
Living and dead.
All right. You got cred. Go ahead.
I also adore etymology, which is the history of words and how their meanings have changed over time, etc. Okay. So just because I choose to use dad instead of father doesn't mean that I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah. When I say dad-in-law, I know exactly what I'm doing.
Okay.
Right. And just because you're using multisyllabic words from Latin and Greek roots doesn't mean that you know what you're doing or that you're smart. And in fact, the time I take to select single syllable words that come from Old Norse and Germanic roots means that I care more about what I'm saying than you do. All right. So don't come at me with the fact that you don't like I said dad-in-law. Okay. Keep learning, because if you knew enough about language, maladopted homonym, you would love what I was doing. Okay. You're just showing me that you're still like a yellow belt or an orange belt on your journey.
You need a little more time.
Yes.
Get yourself adapted.
I would argue that
and then come back.
Jeff Booth is on the 40th floor of Bitcoin.
Yeah.
I'm on the 40th floor of words.
I got your back on that one. I've seen it. I've seen it on display for a long time now. So I agree. Maladapted.
But he did call us geniuses, so thank you.
Clean yourself up.
All right, now I think I'm up next, right?
Yeah. I don't know.
All right, now I have no idea what this is in response to.
We're just gonna have to.
It's from at Mr. Pappy TK1VY. Yo, it just says, no, idiots. Dude, and what I love is underneath it, for whatever reason, it says translate to English.
Huh, what does that mean?
So the internet has determined that Mr. Pappy's comment was so savage, it's not even in the English language anymore. It's so rude. It can't even be English. No, idiots.
Or is it no idiots?
No idiots? No idiots allowed. I don't think so. I don't think so.
All right, Papa.
No idiots.
All right, Jace won, and then someone takes off with Bitcoin and no one gets in trouble. Bitcoin needs to be regulated like real money to prevent fraud.
Okay. So, Bitcoin is real money.
Yeah.
Step one.
Yeah.
I'm happy for regulation if it invites people to feel more confident. But for example, who regulates gold or glass beads or limestone blocks or seashells? Money is money.
Yeah. What kind of regulation do you suggest Bitcoin needs, Jace One?
What regulations are there for the US dollar? Because that's money too, right? So
tell us what you're trying to protect against, and then we can assess the quality of your regulation that you're proposing.
Do you whip out Google even once before you leave a comment?
Come on, Jace.
Bruh.
Jace.
The comment protected is not the same as the whatever that one was.
All right. We'll see you later, Jace. Here's the next one.
All right. At EPG, God, dude, at EPJ-M8S, looking like, a 30-something-year-old with frosted tips in front of the Eiffel Tower. Ha, 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 ha. You guys are losers.
Bro, say it, don't spray it.
Good luck rug pulling people. This one also ends in a period. I'm telling you, the people that end their sentence in a period, they're in pain. Yeah. They're in pain. How can we rug pull people? Because when an issuer of a crypto spews out 100 billion tokens, gives themselves 80 billion tokens, lets you pump your money into the remaining 20 and then rug pulls you and disappears, okay. But we don't control or issue Bitcoin.
No.
Do you know what I mean? We have no more ability to rug pull you if we were asking you to invest in the English language. It's not something we control.
Yeah.
We're using it.
Yeah.
We think it's pretty neat.
We have some.
Right? And I have a lot of the English language. Bro, my guy, father, dude,
Dad.
get out of here, dude.
Get out of here, Dad.
Dude. Oh my God.
Nice try, Diddy.
Issue obfuscation.
Hummus.
That's what I'll say to that guy. A hummus.
Oh,
is that it?
Yeah, we're at the end.
Was that it?
That wasn't so bad.
That wasn't so bad. You guys are losers. Good luck.
That's all you got?
Good luck, rug pull. There's no rugs to pull, man. Come on, dude.
Nah.
Oh, man. Well, were there any that like really hit the mark? The solar flare piece. That is a legitimate item that I didn't consider before the Bitcoin versus EMP short stack.
Yeah.
Right. So you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna do Bitcoin versus solar flare next.
Let's do
That'll
it.
be hot.
Sick.
And by the way, I think Bitcoin versus that series is gonna be fire.
Like Godzilla versus.
Yes. And we're gonna do one called Bitcoin versus at EPJ.M8S. And we know who's gonna win that short.
See ya. That's a
Bitcoin
bot
versus Dr. Class. I hope he feels so bad for ragging on a fellow Dungeons and Dragons player.
Yes,
by the way. I hope he's like, oh, dude, my bad, bro.
Yeah.
We both listen to NADPOD, okay? Give me a break. No, idiots.
That was a good one.
All right, so why don't you take us home, brother?
Well, what a wonderful stroll down memory lane it's been. We appreciate you tuning in here to another episode of Sat Chats Short Stacks, which wasn't so short because we had to go through all our hate and it took a minute.
Yeah.
But please remember to subscribe.
Yes, for your chance at
10 million sats. You just have to be one of our first 100,000 subscribers. You can do it. 99,000 slots left.
Yeah, boy.
And Sat Chats is for educational purposes only and should not be construed for financial advice. See you tomorrow.